No, but if you don't get your machinery right, if you don't get your right team on the field, if you're not doing the policy work, we get to election day and people say, geez, the coalition should have done more, or the costings were buggered up, or, you know, they missed an opportunity in a particular policy area. So, you know, you can't fatten that pig on market day, as John Howard used to say. And if they want to start writing policies for the next election, I mean, that started yesterday, if they're serious. So I think putting him in there says they're serious.
Well, I think it has.
On someone like the PM.
Peter, I think they have several policies ready to go. My understanding is they have the housing policy ready to go. They're obviously, as we revealed today, quite a long way along the way in terms of the nuclear policy. So they have been doing the work, is my understanding. There's an immigration policy ready to go. They're on the way, at least, to presenting some decent alternatives at the next election.
I think you're a bit more optimistic than I am, but we'll see what happens when I catch up with a few people. Does this put pressure on the Prime Minister, though? I mean, he's got Andrew Giles, who sits out there as an obvious candidate who should be moved on. Do you think he's going to have the ticket to do that before the budget?
I don't think it'll be happening before the budget. I think it'll be later in the year. And that will come from retirements, etc. Linda Burney, I don't know if Mark Dreyfus wants to go. That's when I expect that to occur. He probably thinks the way he's going, I mean, he just won the by-election, that he can leave Giles there for the time being. The problem they're going to have is if one of these detainees commits a serious criminal offence, and it's going to be a big problem. So, you know, I'd be, I think I've said this on your program before, I'd be working pretty hard to at least get a couple of applications up so that you're seen to be doing something about that issue.
Well, I think if you're the opposition, you keep Giles there as long as you possibly can. You don't want the Prime Minister to move him on. Hey, you had some detail out today, exclusive detail about the opposition's plans in relation to nuclear. A bit more of a sense of how many nuclear power stations we're talking about, where they might be. What can you tell us?
Well, this is very ambitious, isn't it? They're going to identify 5 or 6 sites that could have nuclear reactors. And they're going to say, we're going to lift the moratorium. It has to get through shadow cabinet, of course, but it seems Peter Dutton's pretty hell-bent on doing it. And 5 or 6 sites, New South Wales, Victoria and beyond. And I think they're all going to be former coal-fired power sites, or ones that have been or are being decommissioned. So you can think about Liddell and Bayswater in the Hunter Valley, and then it's the Latrobe Valley, isn't it? Your Lorne and Loy is just a few options for them. And perhaps Collie in Western Australia, who knows? So, look, this is pretty courageous stuff, isn't it? I mean, I know the polling shows it's popular amongst young people, but I think you said something in your intro which is very true. They want a fight. They want to have a fight over an issue. Now, they think this transmission idea, thousands and thousands of kilometres of power poles going out to support renewables, isn't the right course, isn't going to fix the problem, and is unachievable in terms of the greenhouse targets. So they're daring Anthony Albanese and saying, well, we can do it through nuclear. Albanese will launch a scare campaign off the back of that. We suddenly have a very interesting contest coming up for the next election after what last time was a pretty small target election on both sides, it has to be said. But the last time someone took an ambitious agenda...
And all those Labor right unions too.
Yeah, so, yeah, well, that's true. AWU will support it. But the last time someone took an ambitious agenda to an election didn't end so well, so we'll see.
Just really quickly, I mean, Simon Kennedy named last night as the Lib candidate for Cook. PM pretty cagey about whether Labor will even run in Cook. What do you think?
Seem pretty cagey about what? Sorry, I just had someone in my ear then. Seem pretty cagey about...
Cagey about running in Cook. Labor running in Cook.
Oh, they're not going to run. I don't think they'll run. I was told last week it was highly unlikely. I don't think they'll waste the resources, Peter.